My father, mother, and Harold drove to the border but first stopped at my grandfather's. He dropped off a box full of extra and optional equipment, called a bounce box, and a couple bins of food. He'll kind of shop out of these boxes when he is periodically picked up by my grandfather for resupply in town days. After that, they drove to Lake Marina Country Park at mile marker 20 and they got dinner. The park has campsites, showers, and a cafe called the Malt Shop. My dad and mom shared a delicious but overpriced pastrami sandwich. The Malt Shop is a little store sufficient for a resupply if someone already needed it. The plan was for the three of them to stay in a cabin for 3 nights and slack pack for the first 2 days. Slack packing is hiking with the bare minimum, so that way you can hike more miles. They could leave their heavy packs in the cabin. They drove past a hiker to within .03 miles of the monument. The dirt road had gotten too steep to continue. The hiker was loaded down with all his gear, although she passed my parents and Harold while they were getting our dog and the limited gear out of the car. Because they were traveling light, they got to the monument first, where they were greeted by 2 representatives from the PCTA. My father was directed to sign the log, and after the obligatory pictures at the monument, off they went. Although their attention was on the monument, the border wall dominated the scenery. They stopped at the first campsite to check out an information sign for a selfie at the first PCT marker and at the mile 1 marker. Although most of the PCT is on public land, some of it passes through private land that the PCT hikers are allowed to cross. The first road crossing was 2.3 miles. That's where Harold and my dad left my mom in the PCD. Lexi is now a Pacific Crest dog.
Alright, adios. First road crossing.
For most of the day, Harold and my dad kept leapfrogging other hikers experiencing first day euphoria. That's when my dad realized Harold's trail name was Slow Mosey. Hardcore Harold was just what the scouts at his troops call him. Informational art projects identifying milestones are sometimes created besides the trail. At mile 14.7, they left the trail, walked down a 1.6 mile dirt road to be picked up by my mom, 16.5 miles in 10.5 hours. They got pizza at a local cafe. The star of the meal for Slow Mosey was a chocolate milkshake. Unlike the first night, my dad's day of hiking was rewarded with immediate and uninterrupted sleep until it was time for donuts, orange juice, and some more walking. Snake count 0. Trail stop checklist. Mexican border check.